Some places on our planet aren't just off-limits, they're practically daring you to break the rules. The second you hear forbidden, your brain switches into James Bond mode. What's behind those locked doors? Why are there barbed wires and security cameras? And who, exactly, doesn't want you snooping around? Well, today, we're digging into 15 places so restricted, so shrouded in mystery, that getting inside is nearly impossible. Whether it's due to government secrets, deadly landscapes, or things they just don't want you to see, these locations hold secrets most of us will never uncover. But hey, that won't stop us from trying. Let's get into it. Number 15. Poveglia Island, Italy. If hell had an island, it would probably look like Poveglia. Nestled in the Venetian lagoon, this forsaken place has seen more death and suffering than most horror movies combined. It started as a quarantine zone for plague victims. Thousands were sent here to die, their bodies dumped into mass graves or burned to ash. In fact, legend has it that the island's soil is now 50% human remains. If that wasn't enough nightmare fuel, in 1922, they added a mental hospital because why not pile tragedy on top of tragedy? Patients reported seeing ghostly figures, hearing screams in the night, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Their concerns were mostly brushed off, which is unfortunate because the head doctor running the asylum was allegedly performing gruesome experiments. His reign of terror ended when he mysteriously fell, or was pushed, from the hospital's bell tower. Today, Poveglia is strictly off-limits, but locals still claim human bones wash ashore from time to time. Haunted or not, it's a definite hard pass. Number 14. Fukushima Exclusion Zone, Japan. On March 11, 2011, Japan was hit by a massive earthquake and tsunami, triggering one of the worst nuclear disasters in history at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. Radiation levels skyrocketed, forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate overnight. What was once a thriving region became an abandoned wasteland, eerily frozen in time. Stores still stocked with untouched goods, houses left exactly as they were the moment people fled. While parts of Fukushima have reopened, the exclusion zone, spanning an 18-mile radius around the plant, remains largely off-limits due to extreme radiation levels. That didn't stop one thrill-seeking photographer, Kao Wei Lung, from sneaking in without any protective gear, because apparently playing a real-life version of Fallout seemed like a great idea. But it's not. While cleanup efforts continue, much of the region remains uninhabitable, serving as a haunting reminder of how quickly life can change when J. Robert Oppenheimer's power goes wrong. Number 13. North Sentinel Island, India. If there's one place on Earth where showing up uninvited is definitely a bad idea, it's North Sentinel Island. Home to the Sentinelese, one of the last truly uncontacted tribes, this island is not just remote. It's aggressively protected by its inhabitants. And by protected, I mean they will absolutely shoot arrows at anyone who comes near. The Indian government learned this the hard way after multiple deadly encounters, including when 2 fishermen accidentally drifted ashore in 2006 and were promptly killed. Even helicopters attempting aerial surveys have been greeted with a barrage of arrows. Despite all the warnings, in 2018, an American missionary decided he was the guy to introduce Christianity to the Sentinelese, and was promptly speared. The Indian government now enforces a strict no-go zone around the island, not just to protect outsiders, but also to shield the tribe from modern diseases they have no immunity against. Some places just aren't meant to be visited, unless you have a wish of ending your life. Number 12. Snake Island, Brazil. If you've ever had a bad run-in with a snake, Snake Island is your worst nightmare cranked up to max volume. Off the coast of Brazil, this island is home to thousands of golden lancehead vipers, a species so venomous that a single bite can melt flesh and kill a human in minutes. Sounds dramatic? It's not. Their venom is 5 times more potent than a regular pit viper's, and with no predators to keep them in check, their population exploded. Experts estimate there's at least 1 snake per square meter. Because of the sheer death-per-step ratio, Brazil's government has completely banned the public from stepping foot here. Only select researchers, under strict permits, are allowed to study these slithering nightmares. But unless you have a PhD in snake survival, it's best to admire this one from a distance. Island hopping sounds fun until the island wants you dead. Brazil has plenty of tropical paradises. Maybe pick one where you're not the main course. Number 11. The Catacombs, Paris. Paris might be the city of love, but beneath its romantic streets lies something much darker. The Catacombs of Paris are a 200-mile maze of tunnels lined with the bones of 6 million people. What started as a solution to overflowing cemeteries in the 18th century quickly became one of the world's most unsettling underground sites. Sure, a small section is open to the public, where tourists can walk past neatly stacked skulls and femurs like it's some macabre museum exhibit. But beyond the marked paths, a forbidden labyrinth filled with secret passageways, hidden chambers, and the occasional thrill seeker who manages to sneak in. In fact, the illegal explorers got so out of hand that the French government had to create a catacomb police force. Yep, they're called the cataflics, just to keep people from getting lost forever. So, if you thought wandering around IKEA was bad, imagine doing it underground, in the dark, surrounded by bones. Number 10. Metro 2, Russia. If the Cold War had a best-kept secret, it would be Metro 2, a rumored top-secret underground metro system beneath Moscow. Allegedly built during Stalin's reign, this hidden railway is said to connect key government buildings, military bunkers, and nuclear shelters, ensuring that Russia's elite could escape unnoticed in case of war. Sounds like something straight out of a spy novel, right? The Russian government denies it even exists, but urban explorers claim to have found evidence of sealed tunnels and hidden doors scattered throughout the Moscow metro. In 1994, a group of explorers even reported stumbling upon an entrance, but they were quickly stopped from investigating further. The only confirmed line, D6, is said to run parallel to the public metro, but unless you're a top-ranking official, you'll never set foot inside. Whether it's still operational or just a Cold War ghost story, Metro 2 is one of Russia's most intriguing mysteries. Number 9. Pluto's Gate, Turkey. If a place was ever designed to scream, enter, and perish, it's Pluto's Gate. Hidden in the ruins of ancient Hierapolis, this eerie cavern was once considered a direct portal to the underworld. The Romans weren't messing around. They even built a temple around it dedicated to Pluto, the god of death. Ancient historian Strabo wasn't exaggerating when he claimed birds dropped dead if they flew too close. Fast forward to modern science, and it turns out he was right. Pluto's Gate releases a deadly cloud of carbon dioxide, strong enough to suffocate anything that lingers too long. During the day, sunlight dilutes the gas, but at night, CO2 pools at ground level like an invisible lake of doom. By sunrise, the concentration hits a staggering 35%, lethal for small animals and extremely risky for humans. Unless you're trying to make Pluto's acquaintance personally, it's best to admire this hellish doorway from a distance. All right, now, let's talk about Number 8. Niihau Island, Hawaii. If you think money and fame can get you anywhere, Niihau Island will prove you wrong. Known as Hawaii's Forbidden Island, this privately owned paradise has been off-limits to outsiders for over a century. In 1864, Scottish plantation owner Elizabeth Sinclair bought the island, and ever since, it has remained in the hands of her descendants. Niihau gained its forbidden status in 1952 when a polio outbreak swept through Hawaii. The island was completely locked down to protect its residents, and it worked. Not a single case was reported. Today, strict entry policies remain, and unless you're a government official, military personnel, or a personal guest of the Sinclair family, you're not getting in. Even Mick Jagger once tried to land his helicopter there and was turned away. With just 170 residents, no internet, and no paved roads, Niihau is a step back in time. The locals live off the land, speaking Hawaiian as their primary language. Tourists can only catch a glimpse from afar because no matter how much money you have, some places are just not for sale. Number 7. Area 51, USA. A military base so secret the US government denied its existence for decades, Area 51 is the undisputed king of conspiracy theories. Hidden in the middle of the Nevada desert, this top-secret facility has fueled speculation for years. Officially, it's where the Air Force tests experimental aircraft and cutting-edge military tech. Unofficially? Well, if you believe the rumors, it's where the government is hiding crashed UFOs, alien bodies, and top-secret space experiments. The area is heavily guarded. Motion sensors, security patrols, and warning signs that make it very clear you'll be arrested if you get too close. That hasn't stopped alien hunters from camping outside, hoping to catch a glimpse of something unexplainable. Even the infamous 2019 Storm Area 51 event, where thousands of people joked about rushing the base, ended in disappointment and a few arrests. If you ever see something strange flying over the Nevada desert, odds are it's just military tech. Or is it? Well, please guys, let us know. Number 6. Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Norway. This isn't just a vault. It's humanity's insurance policy. Tucked away inside an Arctic mountain like something out of a dystopian sci-fi movie, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault is our last-ditch backup plan in case the world's crops go extinct. It holds over 1 million seed samples from nearly every country on Earth, safeguarding biodiversity in the face of war, climate change, and whatever else the future throws at us. What makes this place even more fascinating? Politics don't matter here. Even nations with icy relations, yes, including North Korea, store their seeds in Svalbard. The vault is designed to withstand earthquakes, nuclear war, and rising sea levels. And while it's locked tighter than Fort Knox, the only recorded withdrawal came from Syria, whose researchers needed seeds to revive agriculture destroyed by war. You might not get an invite inside, but just knowing it exists should give you a little peace of mind. Number 5. Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, Ukraine. Some places are off limits for good reason, and Chernobyl is one of them. When reactor number 4 exploded in 1986, it unleashed a deadly wave of radiation that turned Pripyat, a bustling Soviet city, into an instant ghost town. Families abandoned their homes overnight, leaving behind schools filled with empty desks, dolls collecting dust, and an amusement park frozen in time. Today, parts of Chernobyl can be visited, but only if you follow strict safety rules and, resist the urge to touch anything. The real danger zone is the 19-mile exclusion zone, where radiation levels are still high enough to make Geiger counters scream. While humans mostly stay away, nature is making a comeback. Wild wolves, bears, and even radioactive bison have claimed the ruins as their own. So while this place might look like the perfect set for a post-apocalyptic movie, stepping inside without protection is a gamble you don't want to take. Number 4. The Lascaux Caves, France. Hidden beneath the French countryside, the Lascaux Caves hold some of the world's oldest and most stunning prehistoric artwork. Over 600 paintings, created by humans 17,000 years ago, cover the cave walls, depicting animals, hunting scenes, and mysterious symbols. It's basically humanity's first art gallery, discovered completely by accident in 1940 by a teenager and his dog. For years, archaeologists and tourists alike marveled at the ancient masterpieces, until people realized they were destroying them just by breathing. The increased carbon dioxide levels and exposure to artificial light caused fungus and mold to spread, rapidly eating away at the artwork. In 1963, the caves were permanently sealed off to the public to prevent further damage. Number 3. Surtsey, Iceland. Born in 1963 from a volcanic eruption, Surtsey is one of the youngest places on Earth and one of the most exclusive. Think of it as the VIP section of the natural world, where only a select group of scientists get backstage access. This island exists as a real-time experiment, allowing researchers to observe how life colonizes brand new land without human interference. And by without human interference, they mean strict rules. No foreign seeds, no structures, no outside contamination, except, well, one rogue scientist who, let's just say, left behind some organic evidence. Not long after, a tomato plant mysteriously sprouted from the lava. Scientists were baffled until they realized where the seeds had, originated. The plant was swiftly removed, and let's just hope that scientists learn to pack out what they bring in. Today, Surtsey remains locked down to preserve its pristine, untouched ecosystem, so no unintentional gardening is allowed. Number 2. North Brother Island, USA. Floating eerily in New York's East River, North Brother Island has a history so grim, it sounds like something ripped straight from a horror movie. It first made headlines in 1904 when the steamboat General Slocum caught fire just offshore, killing over 1,000 people, one of the worst maritime disasters in U.S. history. But things didn't get any better after that. The island later became home to Riverside Hospital, a quarantine facility for patients with highly contagious diseases. Its most infamous resident, Typhoid Mary, the woman who refused to stop cooking for people while unknowingly spreading typhoid fever. Despite being repeatedly told to wash her hands, she ignored every warning, infecting over 50 people before authorities permanently isolated her here. After the hospital shut down, the island was briefly used as a rehab center for drug addicts before being completely abandoned. Number 1. Mausoleum of the First Qin Emperor, China. There's an ancient tomb in China that's so mysterious that even archaeologists refuse to touch it. Discovered in 1974 alongside the famous Terracotta Army, the burial site of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, remains completely sealed. Why? Because no one wants to be the one who messes up history. Legends say the tomb is filled with rivers of flowing mercury, booby traps, and untold treasures. The idea of lethal mercury lakes might sound dramatic, but modern scientists have actually found high mercury levels in the surrounding soil. So, yeah, that ancient myth? Probably not just a myth. Until technology advances enough to safely excavate the site without destroying its contents, or, poisoning everyone, this emperor's secrets will remain locked beneath the earth, exactly as he intended. If you have enjoyed this video, please do us a favor. Like it, share it, and smack that bell icon for more awesome content like this. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you pretty soon in the next one.